So the last month of 2021, I didn't get to watch all too many movies, but of those that I watched, a lot of them I really enjoyed, and there are a lot of things I could learn from them. So let's talk about them. My best friend and I start the month off with Inside Man. It's not your typical Spike Lee movie, and I must say that I prefer Do the Right Thing or Black Klansman a lot more than this, but nevertheless it was still entertaining, and yeah, it had some good surprises in there as well. So far I've liked every Guy Ritchie movie I've seen, and therefore I decided to watch one of his most beloved films, Snatch. It has all the usual elements that appear in his movies, so just the ridiculous humor, the crime and the action that goes on. And yeah, it did a great job with these two things as well, and just set a great path for his future filmmaking career. Then I decided to watch Jumanji: The Next Level. When I first watched Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, I went in not expecting too much from it, but I was actually very surprised by it and had a great time watching it. So yeah, therefore I was actually really looking forward to this movie, but yeah, I was pretty let down by it. I basically just wished I would have watched something else instead. That's all I have to say about it. I heard a lot of great things about the movie Drive, starring Ryan Gosling, and therefore I decided to watch it. Not only was his performance really good, but as a filmmaker, there's a lot that you can learn from this movie. For anyone interested, I would recommend to go on YouTube and watch some videos about the great sound design that this movie has. And also the electronic song Night Call by Kavinsky just fit in perfectly into the mood and the setting of this film. Then I watched The Hand of God by the Italian Academy Award winning director Paolo Sorrentino. Ever since I saw the trailer, I couldn't wait for it to be released on Netflix. The trailer reminded me a lot of Call Me By Your Name, one of my personal favorite movies, and just the two previous films I've seen by Sorrentino I really enjoyed and was looking forward to this one. After watching it, I can now say that this is my favorite Sorrentino and one of my favorite Italian movies in general. The movie is full of beautiful and very touching scenes and even humorous at times, and all those scenes just match together perfectly and make a good movie. It somewhat reminded me of Cinema Paradiso, also an Italian movie, in the sense that after watching it, I was just in awe by the movie, and it showed me again the power that a great movie can have on you. My dad then showed me Edge of Tomorrow. It takes the concept of reliving the same day over and over again, just like in Groundhog Day, but it places it in an action movie. I think the concept actually worked really well in this movie. The story was very entertaining, and yeah, just it kept on moving forward each time Tom Cruise's character learned something new about the war they were fighting. I then watched Children of Men by Alfonso Cuaron. This movie is very unique in its storytelling and just its filmmaking in general. In this movie, women can't bear children anymore, and therefore everyone knows that the end of humanity is slowly approaching. Different people deal with this situation differently, and it causes a lot of tension. There is a glimmer of hope though, and therefore the main characters drive forward and take action to maybe save humanity. Cuaron does a great job in all of his movies of not just telling the main story, but he builds a world around it and shows us little sequences of other people living in that same world, and especially in this movie, how they are suffering from the consequences as well. The next movie I watched is called Taste of Cherry, and it's the first Iranian film to win the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah, I wished me this for Christmas and my parents gave it to me, and so I immediately had to go watch it. I'm a big fan of minimalist cinema. That means movies that just have a simple plot and they're usually very dialogue driven, not much happens, but this movie does a great job in doing that and still making you be invested in the story and just feel different emotions. It's basically about a man who is searching for someone to bury him after he has committed suicide. As you can tell, it's a pretty simple plot, and yet I was still very curious to find out what will happen in the movie. Switching over from small independent foreign language films over to American big blockbuster movies, I decided to watch Captain America: Civil War. It's actually one of the only MCU films I've never seen in its entirety, and I basically know everything that happens in the film, and it ties a lot of stories together, but yeah, I thought might as well just give it a watch. Another type of movie I really enjoy watching is when one single event affects the lives of many different people and families. This is also the case in Babel by the Mexican director Alejandro G. Iñárritu. The movie changes back between 4 different stories in 3 different countries that are all connected to the same tragic event. As the movie kept on changing from story to story, I was always left very curious to find out what will happen next in that story. So I think the movie did a really great job in its storytelling. The last movie I watched in December and the year of 2021 was Barry Lyndon by cinema's legendary and one of the greatest directors, Stanley Kubrick. The only thing I knew about this movie going in is that it's 3 hours long and that it takes place in England during the 18th century. It has a very great story of a poor man who works and cheats his way up to become a wealthy man and shows how he deals with that new lifestyle. There are many great scenes in this film, but what I enjoyed most about it is the framing and the compositions. Kubrick did a great job of placing his actors very carefully with the beautiful landscapes behind them, and it made a lot of the scenes look like they were a painting from a museum. This is a must-watch movie for any Stanley Kubrick fans. So those were the movies I watched last month. Now, let me give you all 3 recommendations. The first movie I'd recommend watching is The Hand of God. It's on Netflix, so most anyone watching this video will have access to it, and it's really just such a beautiful and great piece of filmmaking. It also got me really excited for summer to come. For anyone wanting to watch a simple, minimalist film, I'd recommend watching Taste of Cherry. It's the first Iranian film that I've seen, and I'm excited to check out more by the director. And my last recommendation goes to Barry Lyndon. This movie once again proves that Kubrick can make a movie in any genre and master it. I think this is a great watch for anyone, whether you're a casual film viewer or you're really interested in filmmaking or even make your own movies. Alright, so those were the movies I watched last month. Let me know which of these y'all have seen and how y'all like them, and I'll see y'all next month.